The following program contains coarse language. Viewer discretion is advised.
You guys should remember this baby's face right there. Last day of preschool. And it's so sad because his life should have really been starting at that point for him to be able to make it through school, grow up, and become something great. He has such a promising face, promising young man that could have grown up to become anything. And I'm going to tell you guys this, just to be real. I'm not so sure what you would call what became of her life anything at all. I just think that this was a horribly bad exchange for a life that meant nothing, and that life that meant nothing took the life of a little child that actually did mean something. So I'm going to explain further. Don't get in your feelings, but let me give you a disclaimer about my channel that I might use some foul language. This is not intended for small children. Content within this video is for mature audiences. Okay, let's get into it.
Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, new website articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer.
And let me also say shout out to my friend Shay too. So if you're listening, I want to shout you out. I did miss you. I didn't see you in the chat, but I got you. So they're getting this story update from ccprosecutor.us. So I think that might be some form of a government website, I guess. I don't know. It looks very, very official. But nonetheless, Cuyahoga County, y'all know. Anybody who's watched my channel for any length of time know that is a place just on the surface I do not like. I don't know all the people there. I'm not saying and claiming that I do. But what I am saying is that the county has produced some of the dumbest, some of the worst, most heinous stories you will ever hear, especially coming from my channel. I think my channel could be partially credited for covering most of the stories that come out of there, at least since I've been on YouTube. So Cuyahoga County Prosecutor Michael C. O'Malley announced that this idiot right here, her name is Bionca, and yes, that's a her. Bionca, Bionca, so you can follow the story. Ellis, Ellis, 34 years old, was sentenced, finally sentenced. So this is the end of the saga. Sentenced to life in prison without the eligibility of parole for stabbing and killing 3-year-old Julian Wood. And that was the look that I think solidified the case. If y'all remember this, I'm not going to play it. Go back and watch my previous video. I think for me, watching it from the outside looking in, that was the face that did it. I said, that's the type of face that should never be free in society again for any reason. You have people out there that will argue for mental illness, for her health. She didn't know what she was doing. She was not in her right mind. And if you think about it, I know we have a lot of people out there who have and struggle with mental illness. That doesn't mean that those people hurt kids. And if those people pose a danger to kids and other people, I do not think that they should be in our society. Is that a fair statement? I'm going to say it again. These type of people who present a danger to others should not be in our society, because when something happens, it just needs to be punished. Do any of you guys feel sorry that she got a life sentence with no possibility of parole? Because personally, I'm totally okay with that, and I think that's the right thing to do. This person is an animal. She looks like one. She's shaped like one. She is literally shaped like a tree trunk. She is a horrible individual, a horrible human being, and I could not imagine anybody having any level of sympathy. Well, you gave her too much of a sentence. That's too harsh. She needs medication. She needs programs and treatments. It's too goddamn late for that. You know, she's 34 years old. You know what happens to people who behave like this, who behaved in a depraved way right? You know what happens to monsters as they get older? They just become older monsters, right? Thank you, Lisa. You took the words right out of my mouth. 34-year-old monsters become 44-year-old monsters. 44-year-old monsters turn into 54-year-old monsters. Once you have demonstrated that that is your character, that's just got to be it. I'm sorry, but when you look at this, what has she done with her life that you would want her out? Let me see. You think she's going to go get a job? No. She was unemployed. Do you think that she's going to go be a positive figure in the community? No, she's already proven that. Do you think that she's going to go do the right thing and behave and not treat people badly? Let's see. No, you're walking around stealing knives and stabbing children and mothers. Where's the redemption? Where's the redemption in that? For everybody who thinks what I say is wrong, and I want y'all to always remember the whole point of this, and I love seeing people get caught up in this, and I'm going to just talk to y'all quite frankly before I finish reading the rest of this. I did this on purpose with my channel long time ago. Let me just give y'all a hint. I made this channel the way that I did because I felt like it was a bit more bulletproof. What do I mean by that? Because the stories that I talk about, I said there's no way that you can say what I'm saying is wrong when I'm defending a child against a person who harmed that child. I said that's an impossible thing to try to defend. You cannot defend a person who hurts a child who is a quarter of their size. In some cases, smaller than that. When you have an infant baby, when you have a preschooler who was literally probably about, 40, 50 pounds? And that woman is about a good 375, 385 pounds. And she says she wants to end his life. When that boy was doing nothing except for what everybody does, goes to the grocery store and goes home with mom. Where do you defend that? There is no defense for that. That's why I say it's really kind of like a bulletproof situation where it's like I give you all, and thank you. You got it. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm literally giving y'all the actual answers to the test. And I've been testing people for years to see why do these dummies continue to defend people like this. You hate black people. You hate your mother. You must not be a good father. You must have a little penis. You must be gay. You're a homosexual, Just Jay, because you're saying the things that you're saying. You must not be pro-black. You must not come from the black community. You must not be from the South. You don't understand what it's like. You're rich, Just Jay. You don't understand what it's like to have your lights cut off and your phone cut off and be poor and not know where your next meal is coming from and be on the streets and asking to take showers at people's houses just because you didn't have no other place to go. Again, that would be the assumption, and that assumption would be wrong because I actually only speak about what I know about. People wonder why I speak about gangs. That's because I understand what I grew up either in or around. I'm not going to confirm or deny whether I was or wasn't, because I think that's stupid to do that over the internet. But what I will say is participating in things and doing bad things, you should be the first person. And when you get that wake-up call, when that proverbial light bulb comes on, you should be the first person to speak out and say that shit is wrong and we need to do better. And here's why we need to do better, especially if you're a parent. I couldn't imagine why you'd be a parent and you want to send your kids down the same effed up path that you went down. Have some accountability about yourself and how you grew up. Everybody caught that? I hope everybody understands that. I will clip that and post it as his own separate video. Like I just do stuff. Like, to me, that just makes sense. Okay? So that's truly why I think people listen. If you come to just hear the story and you want me to just read the news clip, go somewhere else. Go watch it from the news stations. Go subscribe to foxnews.com. All they do is tell the news with no commentary, no feeling behind it. This matters to me because I'm lucky enough to say that my kids are about to graduate. They're pretty much grown. So I've made it through the tough period of raising them. I'm thankful. Oh my goodness. Shay, you know what? You read my mind. And let me read what Shay said. And y'all tell Shay how many times y'all have heard me say this over the years. There's a special place in hell for people who harm kids. I've said that so much that even news reporters started to repeat my words. Live on the news. That is amazing that you said that, and shout out to you. Thank you for saying that. On June 3rd of 2004, around 3 p.m., Bionca Ellis, 34 years old, stole. Can I go back to that picture? She stole 2 knives from a store. Let's go back. Let me see if I can find out. I've got the picture right here. Stole 2 knives on camera from Volunteers of America thrift store next to the Giant Eagle near Lorraine Road and Dove Center Road, North Olmsted. After obtaining the knife, Bionca Ellis walked next door to the Giant Eagle. As Ellis entered the Giant Eagle, she spotted the victim and her 3-year-old child, Julian Wood, in the store, and she followed them. So what she did was, as she walked past them, and I think I have a preview of it if y'all want to see it. She walked past them, looked at her, because I have a whole theory behind that too. Y'all have got to watch my original video. I will post the link when you're watching this on the replay. I will post it in the description box. Y'all have got to see my thoughts on that. I did a whole breakdown on everybody ignoring her and acting like they didn't see something wrong with this woman walking around with a knife and flinging it around and fiddling with it. And well, we're just not going to say nothing because they're afraid. They're afraid of telling grown people that they're doing something wrong and presenting themselves as a threat. But that's a whole nother video. Go back and watch my original video on this. So she did a U-turn. She saw her and did a U-turn and walked right behind her and walked out the store and then attacked them once they got outside. After the victim paid for her groceries and walked towards the exit of the store, Bionca followed the victim and her son into the parking lot. Bionca continued to follow them to their vehicle and immediately stabbed the 3-year-old located in the shopping cart multiple times. His mother attempted to pull him out and was also stabbed. Several people called the police and reported the stabbing. I'm not advocating for people to take the law into their own hands, but here's what I will say. I would not have been mad if somebody would have put that big heifer down right there in the street for what she did, right then and there. She behaved like an animal. She needed to be put down like an animal. But follow the law. I'm not telling y'all to break the law, okay? The North Olmsted Police Department, NOPD, arrived at the scene and located Bionca walking towards Dover Center Road with a knife in her hand. She was arrested on scene without incident. The North Olmsted police officers and EMS began providing life-saving aid to Julian. Julian Wood and his mother were transported to a nearby hospital. Julian was later pronounced deceased. His mother was treated for her injuries, and the mother was actually in court, so we saw her in court speaking, so she's okay. On October the 15th, 2025, Bionca Ellis was found guilty on these charges, which is why she's not getting out of prison ever. 1 count of aggravated murder, 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, 1 count of endangering children, 1 count of misdemeanor theft. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. And I'm just curious as if there's anybody out there that would like to debate me and tell me why she doesn't deserve that sentence. Because I think she deserves every bit of what she got. Let me give you guys a fair usage, and then we'll take a look at the news videos, okay? Here we go.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
If you're watching, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up or share this in your favorite true crime groups. I always get that backwards. Your favorite true crime groups. Copy and paste the link in there and share it, and that maybe other people can see this. That's how we can get this thing going, okay? Hit that thumbs up. Here we go.
We're going to go back to that breaking news that we told you about just a few moments ago. It's the verdict in the Bionca Ellis trial.
We told you at the top of the hour, jury found Ellis guilty. She stabbed 3-year-old Julian Wood to death, injured his mother as well in an attack in a grocery store parking lot. News 5's Catherine Ross has followed this tragedy since the very beginning. She's live now with reaction to that verdict. Catherine, the testimony in this trial was just gut-wrenching. The mother testified, and now today the verdict.
Yeah, Katie, Damon, like you said, guilty across the board on all 9 charges. That includes murder, aggravated murder, attempted murder, all for the death of 3-year-old Julian Wood and the injuries that his mother, Margot Wood, suffered. Now, we just had the opportunity to speak to Margot Wood, her husband, Jared Wood. Obviously, this trial has been incredibly emotional for that family, for everyone who's been following this trial, this case. It's been shocking. But they say at this point they're grateful for that verdict.
Well, we just want to thank everyone for the support.
The love and support for our son.
Yes.
Everybody that's visited him, commented, sent love. We appreciate you guys so much. This was for him today.
And like we've been saying as this trial coverage has proceeded, there has really no been argument over what happened that day. The question that the jury was deliberating was whether or not Bionca Ellis was sane when she committed that act. Ultimately, the jury did agree that she knew what she was doing. Of course, sentencing is the next phase of this. We'll have much more of the details in the 6 o'clock. But for now, we're live. Catherine Ross, News 5.
Catherine, thank you.
And Ms. Ellis would like to speak.
I just want to say I apologize. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, you can be seated. Thank you.
There it was, an apology from Bionca Ellis, albeit a very short and concise apology. Don't know how meaningful it will be to the Wood family, but nonetheless an apology at her sentencing. Welcome back to Court TV Live. This morning is all about justice for 3-year-old Julian Wood and his mother, Margot Wood, as they were both stabbed at a popular grocery store parking lot in broad daylight. It's time now for convicted killer Bionca Ellis to learn her fate.
And therefore, I urgently implore our city and county leaders to continue providing facilities and programs that respond quickly and compassionately to those in crisis. The need is dire now than far too many of us realize. The leaders in this county have been discussing this topic for far too long. Please get it done. No family should have to lose a child, and no family should have to watch their loved ones deteriorate because meaningful and effective mental health services were unavailable. The absence of adequate and functioning mental health facilities in our community has tragic consequences. And I call upon our leaders at every level of government to make providing and supporting mental health care a true priority so that others in crisis can be helped before another tragedy occurs. But Ms. Ellis, again, I want to state that while your mental illness was accepted by this jury, it is not an excuse for what you did. The jury found that although you suffer from schizophrenia, you understood the nature and wrongfulness of your actions and handed down their guilty verdict on all charges. When reviewing the sentencing factors as outlined under 29-29-11 and 29-29-12, my job as a judge here is to punish the offender but also to make sure that the sentence should be proportionate and not demeaning to the seriousness of the offender's conduct and the impact on the victims, and consistent with other sentences with similar crimes. In looking at the seriousness, of course, the child's age and the suffering weigh heavily for this court as well. And so with respect to my sentencing, after taking in consideration all the matters before the court that are appropriate under the principles and purposes of sentencing, the court's going to impose the following sentence. Starting with count 2, as found guilty on count 2 of murder, it's a life with parole eligibility at 15 years. On count 3, the murder charge under the B section, it's life with parole eligibility at 15 years. And those are the maximum sentences that can be handed down on those 2 counts. On count 4, with respect to the Reagan-Toke sentencing guidelines, count 4 and count 8 are both felonies of the second-degree felonious assault. We also speak to count 5, which was the endangering children as a felony of the second degree. And then we speak to count 7 and 6. The state and I have agreed that I will move forward with count 7. Under count 7, under the Reagan-Toke sentencing guidelines on the attempted murder in count 7, the court's going to hand down the maximum sentence of 11 years as the minimum sentence to the indefinite sentence of 16 and a half years. Again, I've outlined the Reagan-Toke guidelines and the reporting requirements for post-release control that will be controlling on all other felonies of the second and first degree, this being the highest level. I've outlined the 5 provisions, as I noted for the record already. And then with respect to the count 4 and 8, the maximum sentence is 8 years. I'll hand down that sentence. Count 5, 8 years. Count 6, 11 years. Count 8, 8 years. And then as indicted, count 10, which would be a 6-month sentence on the misdemeanor charge. Regarding aggravated murder and finding the defendant guilty of aggravated murder by this jury, the court's going to hand down a sentence of life without parole. I'll run every other sentence concurrent to life without parole. Ms. Ellis, you'll be given credit to 509 days of the time that you've served. I'll order you in the custody of the sheriff to transport you to Marysville Correctional Facility. I'll also indicate that fines, fees, and court costs will be waived with respect to this sentence. In addition to the verdict that has been handed down by this jury and the sentence that the court handed down, Ms. Ellis, you have a right to appeal both the sentence and the conviction in this case. You can do that by filing a notice of appeal with the clerk of courts within 30 days of this sentence. If you're unable to pay for the cost of an appeal, you have the right to appeal without payment of costs. If you're unable to obtain counsel for an appeal, I'll appoint counsel to represent you. If you're unable to pay the cost of documents necessary, they are provided to you without cost. You have a right to a notice of appeal filed timely on your behalf. And Ms. Ellis or counsel, do you wish to appeal both the sentence and the conviction handed down in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. No objection for the record and appoint counsel for the objection.
I'll note your objection regarding my sentence, and knowing that she's unable to afford counsel, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent her with respect to her appeal. Again, noting for the record, all counts will be run concurrent to each other, with the life without parole being count 1 sentence. I'll waive all fines, fees, and court costs, give her credit for the 509 days that she served, in addition to time while she awaits her transportation to Marysville Correctional Facility for Women. Is there anything further from the state of Ohio before we recess?
No, Your Honor.
Anything on behalf of Ms. Ellis?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we adjourn. Thank you.
And with that, life without parole, the maximum allowable sentence under the law in the state of Ohio, has just been imposed for count number 1, the aggravated murder of little Julian Wood. He also maxed her out on the other lower counts. Let's bring in attorney Tommy Pope for some.
This was for him today.
Justice for Julian. A jury found Bionca Ellis guilty of all charges.
Guilty of stabbing and killing Julian Wood and stabbing his mom, too. It happened last year as they left a grocery store.
A jury had to decide, was Ellis evil or mentally ill?
Julian's parents reacted after hearing the judge read the verdict.
This jury says that they duly find and impaneled as sworn jurors in this case do find the defendant, Bionca Ellis, guilty of all charges.
We're very thankful for the prosecution and everybody that's helped us here.
Julian's mother found the strength to come face to face with Bionca Ellis in court,
providing gripping testimony of the attack that appeared so random. Defense lawyers argued Ellis was insane at the time of the crime with a history of mental illness.
Prosecutors argued Ellis stole 2 knives, walked next door to the Giant Eagle in North Olmsted, erupted in a rage, and took it out on Julian.
What did she do next? She just walked away. Like nothing. She just walked away.
We found mental illness at the heart of this long before the case made it here to the Justice Center. The I-Team revealed a Rocky River judge had released Bionca Ellis from jail on another case days before this murder, even though there had been a recommendation for yet another mental health exam.
During the trial, Ellis never spoke. Jurors heard only some of her interview with a mental health expert.
After the verdict, Cuyahoga County Prosecutor Mike O'Malley released a statement saying, "My thoughts and prayers remain with the Wood family. I can't imagine the anguish they must feel after the loss of Julian."
So what happens next? Bionca Ellis is scheduled to be sentenced in about 2 weeks, and she could face life in prison.
Juror number 7.
Judge John Russo asked each juror, "Is this your verdict?" And sheriff's deputies put Bionca Ellis in handcuffs.
She glared, but otherwise showed no obvious reaction.
Julian's parents made sure they also thanked the community, outraged by the murder of an innocent child.
I want to thank everyone for the support.
The love and support for our son.
Yes.
Everybody that's visited him, commented, sent love. We appreciate you guys so much.
In Cleveland, Peggy Gallick.
Ed Gallick, Fox 8, I-Team.
All right. Now, before this next video plays, I need to forewarn you guys, even though it's not going to play in its entirety, okay? It is not going to play in its entirety, so YouTube, there's no need to flag. But we are going to be able to show up until the moments what she did leading up to, okay? So if you guys want to watch that, I will play it for you. If you do not want to watch it, just exit the video. I'll make it a little bit bigger on the screen. Hope y'all are ready to watch this. Let me give you a disclaimer. I don't know how many more disclaimers I can give you. The following video contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences, but I still need to be able to keep my monetization. All right, here we go.
We have a test. We have a pulse. Don't pulse. Check that test. We
Is that your son?
Yes.
Okay, come here. We're going to have somebody take you to the hospital, all right? Okay, we're going to have you take you to the hospital, okay?
I'm parked over there.
No, you can leave your car over. Where's your keys at?
I have my keys right here.
Where's your car at?
It's the truck that's parked facing this way. I'm taking him to...
Yeah, I'll be right there. I'll get your keys, so you don't worry about it. Here.
Update on him?
Look at him. What hospital?
Can you drive the Can you drive squad?
Yeah.
I need you to drive. Right here. So, yeah. Good. Good. All right. Is there a halo test on it? Okay. Is there anything else on the face? All right.
Let's go.
Yes, all Westlake guys.
Ready?
Let me know when you're ready.
Let's get him on the car.
Okay, let me know when you're ready. Here we go. All right, you ready? Ready? Ready, three? I'm going to get you two. Get the car ready up. Go, go, go. Good.
We're going to get our pads on.
Okay.
Medic, come in here and relieve him. Yeah, from there. Medic, come in and relieve him. I'll just chest compress him. Oh, yeah. You guys take us back. You got this one. Shoulder.
Get him.
I have a
So, I mean,
you can go to the back.
on this side, I hear a scream. I look back, and she's just dead.
Yep, write it down. Okay. It's not okay for anybody to see. All right. Name, address, date, driver's license, phone number. We'll take care of this. One more little while. If you go to the back. Thank you. No, yeah, thank you. Happened out here? My understanding. Take place out here? Right here. Right there?
Literally right here. Right here.
See this? John, what do you have? We got statements rolling. We got group walking stands up.
Yeah. And just stab.
Did she say anything?
No, I didn't hear anything. I had my windows down. I didn't hear anything. All I heard was just screaming, and the lady grabbed their child up out the cart, and that's when it fell over, and they collapsed over here, and the lady just continued to walk off, and that's when everybody just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I got out. There's one guy, he said, what happened? I said, I don't know, I'm going to go look. I came about halfway, and I saw her trying to get away. So I hopped in the car and chased her down.
Okay.
To almost where that white building is.
Yeah.
That's when I called 911. And like literally 30 seconds later, you guys showed up.
Okay. All right, cool. So the kid was in a car? In the car?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it was in the car and the car fell over?
Yeah.
211, I need a car to go help the kid. These are the first couple aisles.
Where's your cuffs? Get custody? Who's that cuffs?
Slow down.
Hold on. We're good.
All right. Yep. Okay.
Ken, you want me to go to the female or Giant Eagle?
Go to the female
that you have. She's in the first 3 rows, farthest north. Copy, I will be up.
You got a med kit? Okay. You know we're on the side? You're good. Who's got a med kit with you?
You didn't get her up.
We have a female in custody.
Are you bleeding? Are you hurt anywhere?
10-4, female in custody, 1504.
That's right there.
5217, I'm out.
Let's get her up.
Here we go, man. Hold you up, okay?
10-4, 5211, do you have someone there with you?
Come back this way.
52LO3, I got 3 units. 1719 myself. At Giant Eagle. In the parking lot, third aisle. If you got EMS coming.
There's a child. He's bleeding all over the place. We're at North Olmsted Giant Eagle. I don't know what happened to him. Okay, what exactly is going on? There's a kid. He's bleeding all over the place. We're at Giant Eagle. He's outside. We're in the parking lot right now.
Okay, is the child conscious and breathing?
Is he breathing? I don't know. But they're doing CPR on him.
They're doing CPR?
Yes, right now.
Okay, hold on 1 second. North Olmsted units, be advised there's a child that is possibly injured. They're doing CPR on him now. Okay, I'm going to stay on the phone with you for a couple more minutes. I have officers en route. I'm going to get a couple more things from you, okay?
Okay. I didn't see it. I just heard them yelling, and then we were on break in my car. And I work at Giant Eagle right now.
Okay. Okay. What's your last name and callback number?
What?
What's your last name and callback number?
Okay. Okay, there's police here.
You see the police?
Yes, there's a police car right now.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hang up.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, in all actuality, I don't know that this video was made public before, because I'm just now catching it, just now seeing it. But I thought that was important for people to kind of see how traumatizing this was, kind of, the people around that, saw, maybe saw what happened, made it to where the police were able to apprehend that chick and get her arrested, but just really just the whole situation was just crazy. So at the end of the day, to this young prince, R.I.P., to the family, no sentence will ever make them feel any better, because it's not going to give them back what they actually want, was their son. They deserve their son. And this woman deserves to not be in our society ever again, right? That look right there, I want y'all to burn that image in your heads right there. That look right there. That is a disgusting, repulsive individual. And again, sometimes the only treatment is being locked away. This cannot be fixed, and you can't fix this level of stupid, okay? But thank you guys so much for listening to this story and this saga by way of the AFC podcast, okay? Thank you.